Elon Musk had something very interesting to say, and to the folks that work for his business regarding these executives. And I'm going to read the story. I think it's worth covering because I think it gets you to understand like the corporate mindset for the most part. But it's not just today's day and age mega corporate entity and their mindset. This is something that you can really see has really plagued culture, not just in America, but you can argue in the West. Look at this. Covering this here as Blue. What is this? Lee Barney from Newsmax. Elon Musk has told Tesla executives in no uncertain terms that they can no longer work remotely. This is what Bloomberg reports. Elaborating on an internal memo, the Tesla CEO sent, Musk shared in a tweet that he has told his top executives that they must return to the office for a minimum, and I mean minimum, of 40 hours per week or depart Tesla. This is less than we ask of factory workers. So he's telling the executives like, all right, y'all been getting away with this remote shit, probably dicking around, got your thumb up your ass. He probably didn't use that, and I probably shouldn't have used that analogy on Pride Month, but you get what it is that I'm saying here. They're probably doing things that have nothing to do with the job, which they can really get away with being remote, and that's what this whole fucking COVID stuff allowed them to do. And he is saying that y'all need to get your asses back to work, okay? And it's a minimum of 40 hours, and I don't give a damn that you are an executive. If that is not acceptable to any executive, then they are free to pretend to work somewhere else. So he's saying, all right, enough of doing this shit on company dime. Y'all need to be working, and that's a bare minimum. And if this is something that you don't want to do, see you later. Sayonara. In the initial internal email with the subject line of remote work is no longer acceptable, Musk said that the executives, and that's the important thing, he's not just talking about like people around the way that are throughout the Tesla company. He's talking about the shot callers, the execs, and their fake ass jobs for the most part anyway, probably. Return to office work must work from a main Tesla office, not a remote branch office unrelated to the job duties or in another state. So he's told them to get their ass back to work. So executives are in for a very rude, I don't want to say a rude awakening. That's what the way they worded it here. I mean, I guess they are, because I'd imagine that they're probably getting paid very, very well being an executive for a company as lucrative as Tesla. But let's talk about that mindset. I think a lot of these guys' jobs are fake anyway. A lot of the corporate jobs are fake. Look, I'm not going to speak personally to what Tesla does, but I have worked for billion-dollar corporate entities, and I've seen the way they work. Now, on the smaller scale, so when you get like multi-million-dollar executives, a lot of those guys work. The vast majority of, for example, CEOs work, the vast majority. But when you get to some of these big mega entities that are like really, really massive, the higher you get, depending on what department that is, if the department itself wasn't created that was fake, they're not doing much. They have delegated that work. They may facilitate, but for the most part, they have delegated the important work to someone else and other people that are within the company, and they just kind of facilitate. And I've seen this play out in a lot of different ways, because what happens is that often those people that are getting those jobs don't even really understand what it is they're doing. And I've seen it hit the fan, having technology folks that are involved in technology. And maybe, and this is not the last corporate entity I worked at, but the corporate entity before I worked at that one. So this is probably closer to early going into the mid 2010s. Okay. And I saw, I guess I can't remember what his term would have been, if he would have been like the VP of technology or if they would, or if he was the CTO. Either way, we had some big time server related issues that really derailed the company for a few days. And he had no idea what the fuck was going on. There was a guy in the middle that was more knowledgeable on it that happened to be on vacation when that happened, and this guy had no idea what the fuck to do. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean that if you just become you or a CTO, you're expected to know everything and every in and out on the technology scale. Because it is a scale. It ranges from, when you talk about technology within a mega corporation, it could range from networking to desktop to whatever else is fucking going on there. But he was completely out of his wit. He wasn't even like remotely knowledgeable on this. So I think that only really happens in these companies that have a lot of money, and you can afford to give your crony or buddy a job or something like that that's fake as fuck. They got some fucking fake degree for the most part, and wham bam. I'm not gonna pretend like that represents most of the businesses out there, because it doesn't. But these massive ones, they have plenty of people working for them that are on payroll that don't do shit for the most part. Or let's say they don't actually work a lot. They'll be like, okay, there may be a pocket of time, like a week or something, where they're doing all of these different things. But other than that, they're doing something else. You know what I mean? And they can afford to do that. Well, in this case, Elon's like, y'all got to actually work. And I think more so is probably one of those things where he's trying to justify the bottom line more than anything. It's like, do I actually need these fucking people? Or what do these people fucking do? Trying to figure that out. Which is where my mind would go if I was a business owner, per se, and I saw how business was operating, and we went to a spot to where it's like, okay, I get it. There's certain work that can be done remotely, that can be done efficiently, just as efficiently as it would in-house. But how can you truly keep tabs on a lot of that stuff if you're not even around the people that you are basically effectively supervising or making or planning stuff out for on behalf? You don't even have your pulse on what's going on. Yet let's assume that the bottom line wasn't impacted. That means somebody here is wasted. When y'all went from this to that and somehow nothing stalled up, there's got to be some fat in between. So who is it? And I think that's more of what this shit is. You know what I mean? And yeah. So it looks like if you are executive for Tesla, you got to go get back to fucking work. Apparently this motherfucker's living out of state and all kinds of shit. Oh man, fake ass jobs. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.